believe in a liar. Every progressive conservative has lied their way through our political system. All like Stephen Harper, the history, the beat goes on. So you got Doug Ford here. He's progressive. He's promised a common sense revolution and more housing, but the prices are higher because they won't get off the Keynesian economic system, and it's American politics. Is American politics good anymore? Oh no, $31.1 trillion in debt. So he's going to follow the fractional reserve banking system. I don't know who you're going to pick. Trudeau did some blunders. He went and put that pipeline through. Is that all we rely on? Fraser Institute liars, a bunch of liars. Oh, yeah. You know, your whole education system, I was going to college and it was just shoved up my butt. I had to go back and study in private to get the manuals out in the books and restudy everything I learned because I didn't get it. Because they shoved too much information. That's probably the reason I. So I'm going to Australia by descent, and I'm tired of Canada. I'm tired of the blue. Here's me trying to get back into the horse business after they screwed it up. So I joined the Green Party of Canada. They're about the only hope for Canada. Pierre Poilievre, he's a liar. We've lost democracy. We've lost democracy. We did some stupid things, allowing so many people in the country not tapering down on ownership of property. Yeah, a lot of things that caused this housing market. But main thing, read some books. Margaret Atwood's Payback. They're not playing with money, they're playing with debt. I grew up in 1955. I was born. The housing market was affordable. And was it our fault? No, that's the libertarian movement of they keep on shooting this boomer hate. Listen, you know, TV was just emerging. And I saw that was a problem. I'm very look at problems. And I see one problem there was television. It mind hacked a lot of people. McLuhan came out. The media is the message. But propaganda was always the message, too. So you read the papers. They're right-wing conservative. Why? Well, Jorgen Peterson's not quite right. They were going to shut the banks down. Yeah, because the banks are closing. You know, the bank of the Republican Bank is in receivership. We're following that. And you're going to support fossil fuels. That's what you're going to do. Because he's using the taxpayers again. This is Mike Harris did this. Oh, we don't pay for small business startups. We don't pay. We got to save taxes. Mm-hmm. But look at some facts here. Taxes are going to pay welfare to the oil companies. If you vote right wing, which has ruined this town's screwed right up. It was following Robert Moses' model. Everything in Ontario sucks. Alberta, it could get better, but they elected another right-wing bitch. Thatcherism? Oh, hell, I like that party. It said the witch is dead. I'm a labor unionist. But, you know, unions can go bad. Green Party's pretty good. But Australia is changing. Because the housing prices are really rent high. But as long as I got my skills, I don't care. I've been taken down because they deleted laws of blues. They deleted laws on property value. I had a place. It's all gone. Try to fight it back, forget it. There's no rights for people that are victim of armed robbery. So I'm denouncing citizenship, which is my right, because you people are stupid. And they don't like that word. Stay on the fossil fuels and have no progress. So the way I see the economy is Australia is going to go into growth with the renewable sector. Canada, it'll go into cancer growth with fossil fuels. Don't you see the agenda? Don't you you millennials, aren't you intelligent? You're going to listen to all the garbage there that Pierre is shooting? He's a scoundrel. He attacks. And this is all hogwash. Jordan Peterson needs to be silenced. He's another scoundrel. Psychology of the West. The Dalai Lama, I don't agree with. It's so much racism in Canada. It's a dump hole. Some young people ask me, and I'm not against the youth. I'm trying to open your minds. Do you think he's going to save your ass? Do you think Pierre Pavlov, because he says common sense revolution, and my hair said that, screwed up Ontario, and Walker, that was deregulation of libertarianism. They let people die of E. coli. Oh, it didn't prove anything. These are a bad party. Progressives are not conservatives. They got the conservative label, but they're libertarian. Free market capitalism is the worst type you can have. Owning houses was a right, and somebody's deleted the laws. Because these guys over here said there's a commodity market, and they're all right wing. Okay? They're brokers. They know she's crashing. You talk to them. She's going to crash, buddy. Oh, hell yeah. But it's a tsunami. When is it going to come? Well, the Bank of Canada got scammed by internet tactics. $9 million, $1 trillion, $1 billion that pays our hospitals and everything. What's causing the taxes to go up? Payments going out to the pipelines, equalization payments. They've screwed Canada, the liberals and the conservatives. Neoliberalism. And it's all tapped in with the NAFTA agreement of Donald Dunkley. Trump is destroying our planet and a liar and a crazy man. He's not much worse than Putin. Putin's about the same damn thing. World War II broke out because the Japanese got buzzing when they cut the oil reserves of their navy. So they attacked Pearl Harbor, and they attacked. It's all about oil, energy sector. So you're all slaves to it. You ever look at Enbridge, the fossil fuel company that produces natural gas? They're taking over and building natural gas economies. They've been screwing people for years. If we ever go to anything, a government that isn't so libertarian and free market, that would say, the people could say, we don't want fossil fuels. We want to end. The problem of your life is you got no good livelihoods in Canada. They're paralyzing them with blocking the renewable sector. Now, Burnaby, BC, are they the enemy? The people of Burnaby did an honest battle in the BC courts, and they kicked Kinder Morgan out, a company from the United States, Texas, just putting the pipeline through. But then Trudeau went and pushed it through more, this consortium with Trump. And I say, kindly, Trudeau was doing something right. He was going to get off fossil fuels by 2050, which is a fiction. I'll be dead by then. But I'm not going to be dead in Canada. I'll be dead in Australia. I'll live there. I'm not frightened of dying. I'm frightened of dying with stupid people that vote for a progressive conservative. They are my enemy. I was a bit of a Marxist at one time. So I've explored the communists and capitalists. Is communism the problem? Well, China's not that. I'm dealing with China. I can do trade in Australia. They're going to block everything in Chinese trade. And, I'll do trade with them. They've got some horse therapy units. Australia built their economy after World War II. We had 1940s when it ended. There's war bonds. People invested in war bonds. They built wartime houses. These damn places are selling for $1 million now. They were just cheap houses that veterans could go in, and they repopulated because the families could have children, and there was prosperity. There's a low-priced housing caused by a surplus in a commodity market called war bonds. But war bonds weren't following the fiat currencies of the United States since 71. Everything's gone downhill since 71. Richard Nixon. Listen to horse racing. I knew it was going down, and they closed tracks around here. All the hell they're closing. The lottery and gaming associations control the racetracks. Temperance, everything. To get a trainer's license, I gotta go to lottery and gaming. There's nowhere to train the horses because they've sold off all the land. There's a Canadian war veteran, and he's got a pension. He's been to serve 20 years in the forces. He's a career soldier. So where's he going to work? Well, I might go work on the pipeline or gas. He's stuck. He doesn't want to. You're a serviceman. You could go to Australia and get a good job. You need to get your life skills in order. And you just lost. Yeah, you're a nice guy. I hear you. But, you're thinking of making big money. Even doctors aren't making money in Canada. They're talking about privatizing Ontario and getting off the system because the housing market's so high. So I hear you. I hear your complaints. But I wouldn't believe him. He's not a man to trust. They say free market. They're the ones that are causing the taxes to go up. They're stupid people. In a way, they're convincing you that the money's there. I was trying to get funds to get Wounded Warriors going. I give up because I got stupid people up there in Toronto. And I talked to the police about, oh, Greg, they didn't say that. Yeah, he did. He said war vets are bums. They got PTSD. They need some help. So we formulated Wounded Warriors after we were doing peacekeeping missions. What did Harper do? He brought them all back. Yeah. No pension for you, no pension for you, no pension for you, nothing. He just stripped them. We had a joke at Screen Party. And it was true when I started traveling Canada. I met homeless veterans. But they're so angry by Pierre Paulette using those angry Quebec truckers. They're unhealed veterans. I had a man up in Calgary, and I helped him. get through it. I did Reiki on him, and he did shamanic journey. I wasn't doing Alaska or any of those drugs. He was listening to First Nations drumming all night long. Because the night before, he called the cops and had himself brought in. He was going to shoot himself. He's an artillery officer. So in 3 weeks, I was just sitting there and feeling grateful that he can't kill himself. I'm going to get well because I had the crossroads of offering myself for doing something because the PTSD was coming up. He'd go in the bathroom every day. I'd send Reiki to him. Because I do a distance, but his bed was next to mine. I just send it over to him. He says, "Hey, Greg, I go in there, I cry. Vets don't tell you that." I have a good cry. I've had vets, and they say that's weird. Veterans opening up to you about the garbage they've gone through. They did. Zimpass got that ability. I've never loved people more than our police and our veterans. And the garbage they're going through with the fentanyl, opiates, and the guns, and these lawyers letting them out. There's no justice. There's no justice. That's what happened to me. I was escaping the horse slaughter industry in Ontario, which is dreadful. And the horse racing was going down because it was always. And I talked to him up in England, same damn thing. It's about winning. But every horse comes into its own. But it's the owners, they don't have a clue. He's a horse trainer and he wants to do it his way. But he lost his whole stable going that way. The winning, always the winning. It's like sports reporters. Why did you lose? In hockey. Oh, God, they hate hockey players. Pro hockey. Are you a reporter? No. Good. I hate them. They hate reporters. They're always the winning. So I'm on another rant at it. Well, that was part of my story. It was always the winning. So I got into a question. I was with Ian Miller of Spruce Meadows. And there's another thing that I've noticed in horses with women. Ego, the narcissistic horse woman. It's just insane. Horses are stupid. And bullying me around like a bitch. Go Bob Dylan, Maggie's Farm. I won't let a woman in the horse business bully me around. I just say no. She went off crying because she's a narcissist. Any woman that's yanking her reins of a horse is not my type of lady. So I used some Two Sisters, Oregon, and I started running draft horses because I was reading books like Going Back to the Land and using drafts. They say, "You're such a ridiculous man," this Calgary bimbo said. She's in a big fancy penthouse in Calgary. And I said, "Yeah, go ahead." Camrose, he's building tractor bottoms. We had a lot that were going off the fossil fuel. And so I studied a course in workshops from this man that was Two Sisters, Oregon, named Lynn Miller, a great man. And he had a good way with horses. He was a wrangler, from Oregon. But he went draft horse. He did everything with horses. You can in North America. The lumber industry was all horsepower. Thrashing, everything. It's slower. I've done haying. I've done sickle board mowers, drop power, everything. We can refit the tractor bottoms and everything. And how many acres can you do? Well, he's running a mixed farm, which means it's sort of regenerative agriculture. 100 acres with draft horses. And that's all he uses. He decided in the 70s the embargoes on gas and oil, he went right back to horse and buggy. I'm up there in, where is it? Outside of Kingston. We're up there doing workshops on Mennonite Amish. So this was the books I was reading. I was reading the Small Farmers Journal. I did some blacksmithing, not farrier work, Bavarian blacksmithing. And I got thinking, what's an economic model? Henry David Thoreau. A blacksmith has one set of tongs, this iron, and he's an anvil and hammer and a forge. Then he makes more tongs and he can make more things. Well, that's the agrarian culture. The pioneers, they just started building their log homes, and the land wasn't all bought up. And they used draft horses, and now we ship them over to Japan, which doesn't make economic sense for meat, because they don't want us to use tractors. They want us to keep tractor parts. Unions are falling apart. I've talked to the Ontario Ombudsman. You're not being partisan. No, I've given up on politics. I had to figure things out. So I read Eisenberg's End of Growth. And that's this free market capitalism that's killing us, that we've been worshiping like a holy cow. Now, is it capitalism the means of production with Marx? Or is it the method? If we're paying taxes for oil sector to keep this fractional reserve banking going, I think she's a doomer. And Eisenberg's got a hose to his head, because that's the way it works. There's other economists that are looking at this. But economist is not a policymaker. Policymakers in Canada is about power and politics. So Pierre uses a lot of hate and a lot of anger and points at everybody. Hitler did that too. It's time to say goodbye, Canada. Einstein did. He went to the United States after Switzerland. He had to stay in a Swiss patent office because of the anti-Semitism of Hitler. He couldn't keep on learning. But, he went to a Swiss patent office and he worked on designs and patent and how things were built. So his education continued as a patent clerk. He's a genius. Jorgen Peterson's no genius. He's an intellectual, but he's no genius. Genius has got humanitarian values. Now you're going to say he made it the atomic bomb. No, he warned the dangers of nuclear fusion. He came out with the theories, but he warned. But it was used in the time of Hiroshima, Nagasaki. They had to do something, and that wouldn't end that sort of thing. They were Shinto warriors. They executed the last one. And Japan's in war with China because of nuclear energy not done right. And they radiated their water. They never liked them for a long time, China and Japan. But because they're fighting over islands. Think of that. So it's very touchy over there right now. I talked to one of the businesses that's supplying me with laser light therapy for horses. Like the Chinese were using a lot of knowledge that we've wasted, like Qigong energy. and Tai Chi and everything. This stuff works. Tai Chi, my ex-wife's doctor was a Chinese doctor, an endocrinologist working on diabetes. So he told her to go over to this church that has a Tai Chi classes. Landlords closed that place. They then haven't got a place to practice now. And she wouldn't listen to him. And he said the Tai Chi would balance her. It's a martial art. It would balance out the meridian zones of the chi flow. It would affect its diabetic levels. She was taking insulin, which is all right. I take the COVID vaccine. I'm not anti-vaccine. You're going to hear this. I am not anti-vax. And I've taken Moderna 4 doses. My shoulder's a little sore, but I am not anti-vax. I'm opioids I don't like. And I'm for good nutrition and good health. But our whole healthcare system was polarized by, it's not the doctor's fault. It's our fault. People don't look after themselves. And I hope you look after your health. Because if anything you learn, I was born in the same year as Steve Jobs. He's dead, I'm alive. I'm not a billionaire. But I've lived and I got cognitive function. So the generalized BS about seniors is ridiculous. My father was World War I veteran. And he was cognitive right to the very end. That he could tell me everything about that time. Ontario, 1903, he said they just built a house beside a stream. They'd have a ram pump and a generator power the house. Yeah, we went into multi-grid system under Doug Ford. And Catherine Wynne, she was going into coal fire and it failed. Natural gas sense. We made a multi-gridded energy system. All they do is print money. I got $900 in credits for money they printed. I overpaid them because I didn't I didn't have glasses. And then I looked at it. I've overpaid them. Yeah, I got money credits. But I don't, and it just keeps on going up because Doug just prints the money. Oh my hydro. Well, this place doesn't use a lot of electricity. It's using LED lights. So gratitude. But how much energy do we consume? Oh, before the history of Ontario was manufacturing. So we had peak hours that we could do the wash and everything. The rates would go up, and we had an excise tax on line loss. And I talked to Ontario Hydro. Of course, it's going to crash. The whole grid system will, because he blocked renewables. He's a progressive conservative. And he's part of the problem. They all are. Stephen Harper is a dreadful man, and they're all bad. I wish I could say something good. Now, Brian Mulroney, look, conservative, but he's a good conservative. If anything's worse than anything, is progressive conservative is the worst party. These aren't fascists. These are just oil monkey monsters. Tethered and owned by the banking system. Jordan Peterson says no. They were going to close the banks because of Canadians. Hell, I don't drive a car. They were going to close my bank when Trudeau put that in. What? They were asking me all sorts. Because she's at the kicking point of what Margaret Atwood said. pay back. There's no money in the bank. COVID virus just tipped it over. So this was an opportune time to get the truckers striking going. Pierre just loved that, and he got going. And he look at the amount of guns they were collecting. I was a gun law supporter at one time, and I learned that I can go into a college and do a debate and win. But I was wrong because I had 5 rounds fired at me. Karma came, and I changed my picture. That was a sawed-off 12 gauge, 1,500 rounds in that car that he had on him in a hockey bag. He needed the money. That sounds like the sort of thing I hear a lot of bad businesses saying. I need the money, but he doesn't offer a service. So he fired at me. So I went into alcoholism because I was dealing with compound PTSD, massive amounts of trauma. Am I crazy? PTSD will make you crazy. And it does. I was around, whoa, why would he shoot at me? I need the money. So I go in the liquor store to buy my medicine, and there he is. 2.5 years later, they let him out. He says, remember me? Yeah, you shot at me. I need the money. So I'm driving along, and I hear he just murdered the next guy. We've lost Innisfil. We've lost 2 police officers. You know what's happened in Canada? The Me Revolution of 1970. You know, the train went out to west, Janis Joplin, the Grateful Dead, they all went west. They left Toronto, they were cracking heads open. There was a cop there, Jerry Garth. You see him, hey man, you just cracked a police officer's head open for free tickets. So there was a part of my generation, or the ones before that were the me people. But it went 2 ways. Where are you going? To San Francisco. Flowers in our hair. And they're conscientious objectors, and they're marching for peace. And the other ones want to reign free. So part of the whole structure was this libertarianism, free market. So not every generation's right. I think Janis Joplin and Jerry Garcia knew that. And, you know, the Stones would go to concerts, and they had to get bikers to defend them at Toronto. You know, hell, they were cracking heads. They'd stop the concert. It was nuts because everybody wants freedom. That's Woodstock. It was 500,000 strong. They tore down the fences. They couldn't make any money out of it. So it's a sort of a libertarianism. And then we came up with debt. I think about in the 1970s, we were coming up with all these credit cards. And it was really just overwhelmed us. You know, you can just have it right away instead of saving money. And I was in the mode of saving money and buying things, but what the hell? You can't buy anything in the banks. There's just no gold behind them, and the interest rates are flying high. So I put in a financial institution where I get points. That's one thing I like. I can go out and buy $100 worth of groceries anytime. But it goes out the window. Living here is so expensive. I've lived all over Canada. And I look out, I was going to go back east. Oh, hell, the housing market's way up out there. Quebec was fairly cheap, but Pierre's running that place. So that'll go way up. He promised the same thing, that Ford. He he promised to lower the housing rate, get more money, build more houses. Yeah, these guys here are the builders, and they're this is commodity. The commodities are screwing us. The oil market is a commodity, attached to the banks, attached to everything. So I had to figure this out, and I started reading books like Atwood, Payback, and there was a massive lecture on the broken economy, the no money in the bank, just paper, ching, 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 printing like Nixon. So I remember in the 1970s, I was down on Windsor Raceway. It was a good track, it closed. And I was living at the track, the backstretch. And I go down to Windsor, and I go in this place. And these guys, it's a pinball arcade. That was my hobby, to relax away from the stinky horses. And it wasn't too bad, it was just a break. I played pinball, like Pinball Wizard. And these guys are walking in with suitcases. They're businessmen. And I was going there every day, every night. Sit out there and play pinball. This is a bookie joint. They're from Detroit, and they're flooding the market with bad money. So 2010, that damn track closed down. 2015, somebody burned her down. I could drive with horses from anywhere in Ontario. Now, it was old school liberal under Pierre Elliott Trudeau, but you say he's a communist. Fidel made mistakes, and he was working with Gorbachev. And he was going to put the Bay of Pigs. We almost had nuclear war, putting a missile bases in there. So Kennedy locked down the United States. But there's all hogwash with your right-wing part. Extremists, like, I don't know what they are. There's some sort of Nazi group. Jorgen Peterson has Nazis in his groups. These are gun lobbying terrorists. And if it wasn't neoliberal, it'd be Pierre Elliott Trudeau liberal, which would be just watching. You get the military in and blow those friggin' trucks right up with howitzers, clean it up, and then they go. Because they had firearms. The RCMP looked out, and they were loaded up with firearms. That was Jason Kenney. Look at the story here. Everything gets a pattern. Joe Biden put a blockade down on the Keystone. And the little people of the Milk Cow Blues started crying. And that was Jason Kenney. And he pushed the Trikers to go rebel across Canada in a convoy. Meanwhile, they had the vaccines, but they were protesting against the vaccines. And Trudeau did the wrong thing. He put in a banking system and cutting down banks, because it almost closed my account. I know the accounts are closing. I went down to a veteran, got off a ship, and he can't even go in the bank. Oh, you might be killing us. I know, I just want my pension. He's an officer of the Canadian Navy, and I can't believe the garbage. And that was the Bank of Nova Scotia. So the government's handing in my Canada pension check in kiddies. And I was allowed it because I put it into the Bank of Nova Scotia. I thought, sounds like a good bank. Yeah, they closed the account 3 times. I went back to the Bank of Montreal and opened it there. But I put it into another bank, a charity. Not a charity, I get points on. But Pierre Pawlipp is a piece of garbage. If you want to vote for him, kids, go for it. And there's a bitch on there, Bimbo. And I'll tell you, I know a Bimbo. And that's what her mother said. They're so stupid, those girls. Now, not every girl's stupid. Some of them wear headphones and say, I wear headphones so I don't have to hear those other stupid bitches. So some girls are waking up, but that's stupid to vote for them. What has happened to you? Generations being shoved up the pipeline with over information. Your school systems, Dalton McGinn Yankee did it, just shoved so much scholastics up there. You know, the human brain can only take so much information. You're on social media and you're getting dumped garbage on you. So, welcome to Nazi Canada, where the pipelines go through. Burnaby shut it down. You open. So, am I closed minded? Well, they've generalized that all old people vote conservative. Not me. Do I vote liberal? Nah, I'm not neoliberal. I vote Green Party. That's all I hope. But did you watch her on there? Elizabeth May? They were trying to get through. They're trying to put a human rights code in that'll benefit you. Like the Human Rights Code said, housing is not a commodity. It's in the act. But they've been weakening that. The progressives have been weakening that garbage. You know how many homeless young women are out there now? Come on, I don't blame you. I hate young people? No, you're the future. But you're voting for you're like the buffalo herd. You're gonna jump off the thing. And what they did was they told people don't vote for don't the referendum to have fair voting where all the parties could get together and work this out. No, you're gonna have a whole complete Pierre Paul the liar. Jordan Peterson's a fascist. Western psychology, it stinks now. Toronto, U of T, it's a cupcake school. You know, the Bimbo Bakeries up north and they make muffins, cupcakes. Well, my friend left U of T. He said it's an accolade dump. He says, I can't learn anything there. It's about taking electives. Who said that? Gene Jacobs. They changed from learning a skill that could be a liberal. Now, don't get caught in ideology of politics. Liberal arts. He's learning linguistics, the behavior of languages. But he just wanted to learn that and get a BA or a bachelor's degree. You know what he ended up doing? His dad taught him bricklaying, but he couldn't do bricklaying. He had a curvature of the spine. So he hired all these workers because of the immigration. And he learned all these languages, and he was making these little outlets at McDonald's, where the drive-through is. And he hired them all and learned their languages. So he had enough money to go out to the Maritimes and bought a piece of land out there. Became a sort of a reclusive hippie or a professor. He was very well educated, and he thought about things, and he was using word processor. Right? I don't know if he used a computer. There's not much out there, but it's nice and quiet. He was doing Celtic art, acoustic fingerstyle guitar, piano, like I did. He was an artist and a painter and a very creative man. Bit of a hippie revolutionary. He liked Zappa, like me. Yeah, I've been to LA. I heard the Moonchild and those girls there. I've been out to Salt Spring Island. I've been out to Cape Breton Island. I've been out to everywhere. I've been to England. I've been to Australia. All over. a skedaddle. But I come from, my grandfather came from Ballarat. So I got Irish and I got Aboriginal. Am I Ned Kelly? Don't think so. But my grandfather was great grandfather, or I had the research done. Great grandfather was William Dyer of Ballarat. So she's a deputy sheriff for in Orange County, Mounted Division. Then you're a noble horseman. The Irish were the best horse breeder, and that's where horse racing got in. Michelle Payne, Paddy Payne's father was Paddy, Irish, Australian, Ballarat. But I found out my mother was too white, too dark. Her father was Aboriginal, so she had to be removed from as a baby and live in Melbourne. But she wasn't stupid. She kept on learning and became an Australian Army officer. But she was a very beautiful woman, like most Australians are. You know, if anything's wrong about Canada is legalized weed, I think. I really think. I ain't. And these guys want guns in, just like the United States. I don't. I like the law. You got a handgun, it's confiscated. That's the way it should be. And they got tighter drug laws. So what's the freedom? What's the freedom? Libertarian freedom? Or a democracy that protects people? Coppers get guys that rape girls. They do. And they go into jail a long time. There's policewomen that do this. No woman should be sexually abused or tortured. And they've caught a few of those creeps. They're in every country. But we get them. Australian police are very good. I talked to OPP here. They say, yeah, they're about the best in the world. I think they are. I think law and order, no guns, carrying a firearm. You're following the United States. You know, you don't follow the doom country. This is going to be what the other world, what Rome did. We're following a doomed economy. The people don't like me. That's all right. You don't have to. I don't ask for kudos or likes or blessings. I bless myself, and I know I'm leaving Canada because you're going to vote for that jerk. I don't like him. He's a liar. Jesus knew a liar. He said, Judas said he's a good man. Listen, Jordan Peterson, he's going to save the First Nations. He's bloody dreaming. The First Nations problem is the pipelines and the oil and gas industry. Stealing their land, gaslighting women, psychology of Alberta does. Yeah, First Nations. Artists and painters of the First Nations. Stolen land. It's a disaster. Look at the pipelines and Keystone. The Trans-Pacific, what a bunch of rubbish. They were shipping fossil fuel by train, derailed. But pipelines leak. We are following, we're like, I saw her in the bar and she's a younger woman. She got a ring in her nose. Well, that's what we are. We're the ring in the nose economy. Following pipelines and oil. Australia and China getting off it, Malaysia, all those countries. They'll be coming up you'll be going down. Even the Philippines. I was looking, I go to the Philippines, I can't buy land. I can marry a woman or live with a woman and buy the house under her name, but I can't buy it. That was where we went wrong. That's libertarian freedom. And the brokers loved it. So, who's the problem here? Individual organizations of banking and commodities. These guys are going around saying the market is a commodity market. Housing never was. So it's all cooked. The free market capitalism's walked in from the United States. And they got tent cities all over the United States. If you want to live in a tent and listen to a liar telling you won't, go for it. Because I don't really think he's going to do anything what he says he's going to do. He's worked on your hopelessness. And if you know anything about hopelessness, you'll follow anything. So you decide to vote for a jerk like Pierre Paloppe. He's an idiot.